Under the new moons of Lobos. Prologue, the Dimensional Howling. The city of Dent Domain hummed with life beneath the pale glow of the eternal twin moons. Lanterns of enchanted glass lit the streets, their light mingling with the smoke of iron forges and the perfume of bakeries that never slept. Vernest Dent, grandson of Earl Dent, loved these smells, the mingling of steel and soil, bread and fur, sweat and laughter. He had grown up among them, tall even as a boy, his wolfish ears twitching at the distant chatter of merchants, his soft yellow eyes watching the farmers haul their carts of grain through cobbled streets. Though his clan was militant, bred for war and sacrifice, Vernest found peace in agriculture. He loved the orchards that stretched beyond the city walls, the irrigation lines that shimmered with runes to keep water flowing, the scent of fresh earth after rain. He would walk among the fields at dawn, towering over the workers, his black fur catching dew, and feel a strange kinship with the soil. It was not battle that called to him, but growth. Yet tonight, the city's familiar smells were drowned by incense and smoke. The All-Fong had begun to glow, and the Vaewulf clan gathered in reverence. Vernest's heart sank as he watched the people cheer, their voices rising in pride. He knew what it meant. Lobos, god of wolves, demanded another sacrifice. His mother, Lady Mariel Dent, met him in her chamber before the ritual. She was regal, her fur streaked with silver, her eyes soft but weary. She touched his cheek, her paw trembling. "You are so much like him," she whispered. "Your father stood tall when Lobos called. He believed it was the highest honor. And now you, my son, will carry that same honor. Your aunt, your forefathers will be so proud of you, my son." Vernest turned from her, his jaw tight. "Blessing? He was taken from me. Torn from us. You call it honor, but I call it theft." Her eyes glistened, but she forced a knowing smile. "You will understand when you stand before the All-Fong. Before Lobos. His ways extend beyond our world, Vernest. To other moons, to newer moons. Your father understood this. You will too." Later, his uncle Kaler found him in the courtyard. The night air was thick with the scent of iron and fur, the distant laughter of the city fading as the temple bells tolled. It was time, and he had come as his escort. Kaler's hand was heavy on Vernest's shoulder. "You carry yourself like a warrior, but your eyes betray doubt," Kaler said. "Do not shame your father's memory. Lobos chose him, and now Lobos chooses you." Vernest's yellow eyes narrowed. "Chosen? He was stolen. And now I am stolen too. Tell me, uncle, when does it end?" "He was my father, your brother." Kaler's gaze hardened. Vernest knew how much his uncle missed his brother. They walked a while before Kaler and his nephew stepped solemnly down a narrow path toward a temple. The old wolf, larger even than Vernest, spoke in a low growl of the old tongue. "It ends when Lobos wills it. You are Dent blood. You do not question the god. You are to serve destiny." But Vernest pulled away, his fur bristling. "Then let destiny choke on me." The Temple of Lobos loomed above the city, carved into the mountain itself, its walls etched with glowing runes. Inside, the All-Fong pulsed with supernatural light, a massive tooth torn from the god's own mouth. The air vibrated with chants, the sound of wolves howling across dimensions. Vernest was led to the altar, his own uncle remembering mechanically, thoughtlessly as he strapped his own brother, and now his own nephew down into the chamber and closed the door with a nod of his great beard. Stepping away, Kaler left him to the chanting priests underfoot. Viscount Vernest towered over the priests, his black fur gleaming, his soft yellow eyes burning with defiance. The crowd cheered, proud of their chosen. His mother wept silently. His uncle stood rigid, his face carved from stone as he stepped over to join her. The High Elder raised his staff. "Viscount Vernest Dent, grandson of Earl Dent, son of Count Elias Dent, you are chosen by Lobos. Do you accept this honor?" Vernest stared into the fire at the altar. Suddenly the rush of everything between the atom and the universe peeled through his mind, ripping his consciousness through an infinite visual cascade that left him thoughtless and endlessly curious all at once. The All Fong had shown him the way. His voice was low, but it carried through the hall, a new curious look in his soft yellow eyes, one of seeing before knowing. "I accept." Gasps rippled through the crowd. The All Fong pulsed brighter, as if answering his admittance. A beam of silver light shot forth, enveloping him. His body trembled, fur bristling, muscles straining against the surge of lunar power. The light grew until it consumed him entirely. The crowd howled in reverence, their voices merging with the chant. The dimensional howling had begun. Vernest felt himself torn from the world, ripped from the stone and soil he loved, from the orchards and forges, from the laughter of his people. His mother's face blurred, his uncle's voice faded, the city smells he cherished dissolved into nothing. He was pulled through a rift of moonlight, his body dissolving into energy. The last thing he saw was the All Fong, glowing with cold triumph. And then he was gone. Chapter 1, The Queen of Wolves. Twilight draped the valley in violet haze, the twin moons of Lobos rising slowly above the jagged ridges. From the balcony of her mountain palace, Queen Tala Vaewulf stood alone, her glaive of bone resting against the stone rail. She had come here to brood, to breathe out her loneliness against the sunset. The valley below was alive with rivers that shimmered like silver veins, orchards that struggled against blight, and villages where her people moved like shadows. Yet despite the grandeur of her domain, Tala felt the weight of solitude pressing against her chest. Her fur, a deep purple dark and groomed to perfection, caught the fading light. She was tall, nearly a giant among her kind, her frame lean yet curvaceous, regal and elegant, but also thick with muscle, powerful, graceful, and deadly. Her full lips parted slightly as she exhaled, her tail flicking once in irritation at the silence of her vigil. It was then she saw it, a fire burning on the outskirts of her valley. Not the scattered glow of a villager's hearth, but a solitary flame, steady and deliberate. She narrowed her eyes. Someone was camping where no one should. Curiosity stirred. She descended alone, glaive in hand, her steps silent across the mountain paths. The closer she drew, the more she smelled it. Smoke mingled with dried meat, spun yarn, and the faint scent of melancholy. Whoever this stranger was, he had built more than a camp, he had built a home. When she reached the clearing, she stopped. There he sat, a massive figure by the fire, his yellow eyes reflecting the flames. There was an immense softness to those eyes, not like her amber ones, but mesmerizing in their depth. He was the largest wolf man she had ever seen. Taller even than herself, broad but not too thick as to reduce speed of reflexes. He was more humanoid than her, his features absolutely handsome compared to her more canine jaw and slight snout, and her more pronounced fangs. She came cautiously closer, sensing no danger, his black fur gleamed like obsidian under the moonlight. His wolfish ears twitched as though he had known she was coming all along. For a moment, Tala felt absolute terror and delight. Terror at his size, his aura of quiet power. Delight at the involuntary thrill that coursed through her body. When he rose to his feet, stepping toward her, she realized she needed to look up to meet his eyes, but they were different now, more curious, more intelligent. Her tail flicked involuntarily, betraying her fascination. She tightened her grip on the glaive. "Stranger," she said, her voice steady though her heart raced. "You trespass in my valley. Why do you sit here alone?" The giant wolf man did not flinch. His voice was deep, resonant, yet weary. "I waited for your people to notice. I do not know what Lobos sent me to do here." At the mention of Lobos, Tala lowered her weapon. Her eyes widened. "You speak of Lobos? Were you chosen?" "Yes," he said simply. "I am Vernest Dent. Lobos tore me from my home. And now I sit here, waiting. I was a sacrifice." "Sacrifice," she repeated. "Yes." Tala studied him, her gaze lingering on his noble bearing, the sadness etched into his features. He was not hostile. He was something else, something greater. Then you must come before the Council of Elders, she said. They will decide your purpose. Vernest's eyes did not leave the fire. Purpose is not mine to claim. If I was chosen, then they must give me my purpose. They walked together through the valley, the people staring in astonishment at the outsider. His size dwarfed even the tallest warriors, his scent heavy with sorrow. Tala felt her heart stir again, a mix of fear and fascination. She had never met a male larger than herself, never had to look up into another's eyes. And yet here he was, walking beside her, his presence commanding without effort. The Council of Elders gathered in the great hall. At their head sat Elder Kalar, his fur streaked with silver, his eyes sharp with skepticism. He was the descendant of the last offworlder summoned by Lobos, and though his blood carried that legacy, he distrusted claims of divine chosen. Beside him stood Sieglord Branth, commander of the Siege Wolves, scarred veteran, and his mate Captain Soraya, Tala's trusted female captain, lean and fierce. Near the Queen's throne was Captain Anara, another of her captains, almost as large as Tala herself but thicker built, her strength immense. Anara's eyes lingered on Vernest with open interest, her tail flicking subtly, already marking his every feature into her mind. The elders murmured as Tala presented Vernest. He is enormous, one whispered. No wolf of our blood has ever stood so tall. His face is more that of a man than a wolf. Lobos has always shown us the way. Tala raised her glaive. This is Vernest Dent. He claims to be chosen by Lobos. Kalar's eyes narrowed, barely falling on Vernest before speaking. Chosen? Many have claimed such. Let him prove it with a test. The chosen of Lobos guide our lands, our people. They are heroes and kings. Our siege beast is on the brink of death. If he can save him, he may be chosen. Branth stepped forward. The siege beast has been growing in agitation lately. I do not believe a test of the Outworlder's claim should include such a large variable. Agreed. This wolf is a new scent, a new everything. How could the Outworlder know anything of our ways? Added Queen Tala looking at Vernest. I'll do it, said Vernest calmly, shocking them all into silence. Now a new kind of scent filled the hall, and in anticipation beyond their skepticism replaced their initial hesitation. They descended into the underground sanctum, the air thick with the stench of blood and stone. Chains rattled against the walls as the massive creature thrashed, a six-legged wolf, larger than any fortress gate, its eyes wild with rage. It had killed 3 handlers, even its mate, and now threatened the stability of the clan. Tala placed a firm paw on Vernest's arm. Do not go in. It will tear you apart. Vernest looked down at her, his yellow eyes soft. He brushed his face close to hers and lightly pulled her paw from his arm. She gazed at the contact, without resisting, and then her amber eyes shot into his as he spoke softly to her. If I was chosen, then this is why. He stepped into the sanctum. The beast fixed its gaze on him, snarling, thrashing against its restraints. But Vernest did not flinch. He walked closer, his aura steady, his presence commanding. Slowly, the beast lowered its head, its rage faltering. Vernest climbed onto its back as its body heaved slow and calm to the queen and the rest of the eyes of those watching. He lightly ran his fingers along thick hair along its back and then, inspecting its neck, he found thorny protrusions. Parasites drilled into its flesh, injecting poison. With a surge of lunar energy, his hands glowed silver. He pulled the parasites free, burning them to ash. The beast shuddered, then lay still, bowing its massive head to him. The council gasped. Tala's heart raced. She had never seen such control, such power. Anara's eyes widened, her interest deepening. Elder Kalar rose, his shoulders trembling. He stepped down from his seat, approaching Vernest personally. He circled him, sniffing the air, inspecting his fur, his scent, his aura. At last, Kalar's eyes softened. The lightest bit of recognition glazed over in those amber eyes as he watched Vernest's yellow ones. And as he gave the look back, Vernest could feel a connection being made, one through space and time like nothing he could have imaged before entering this parallel, yet more primitive world. Yes. I smell it. The mark of Lobos. Perhaps, he is truly the chosen. And perhaps you look just like my uncle Elder Kaler. You even share his name, smiled Vernest, staring down at the gristled beard of the purple and brown-furred wolf before him. The elder's eyes gazed into Vernest's again before he placed his hands up at his shoulders and smiled. And you resemble my elder brother. Not in scent, but your eyes. The eyes of a thinking warrior. You remind me very much of old Elias. Afterward, Tala walked with Vernest beneath the moons. She could not hide her fascination. You are unlike any wolf I have ever seen, she admitted. Your size, your strength, even your sorrow. Vernest's gaze lingered on the sky. This world, it is familiar, yet not. Your words, your customs, they are echoes of my own. For instance, everyone here speaks the old tongue, but on my world we all speak standard, so that we can include more words, more ideas in our language. I think I am in the distant past of my world. Tens of thousands of years ago, but in a different dimension. Like the ancient multiverse. Tala's lips parted, her tail flicking again involuntarily. Then you are not only chosen. You are a relic. A bridge between times. He looked down at her, his eyes soft. Perhaps. Or perhaps I am only a man torn from his home. A sacrifice. She felt terror and delight again, standing beneath his towering frame. For the first time in her life, she had to look up to meet a man's eyes. And she realized, with a shiver, that she wanted to keep looking. Behind them, Anara watched silently, her thick frame casting a long shadow. Her gaze lingered on Vernest, her tail flicking with interest. A rival spark had been lit. Chapter 2, Copper and Confessions. The council chamber was hushed, the elders leaning forward as Vernest Dent stood before them. His towering frame filled the hall, his black fur gleaming under the lanterns, his yellow eyes steady. The trial had been set. A mining colony in the northwestern mountains was under siege by rebels, their fury threatening to collapse the tunnels and slaughter innocents. The elders expected bloodshed. They expected Vernest to suggest a campaign of violence. But Vernest's voice was calm, deliberate. Cut off the air supply, he said. The vents carved into the ceilings above. Seal them. The rebels will surrender when they cannot breathe. Minimal bloodshed. Maximum efficiency. What if they choose to suffocate? Asked one elder in the council. No, rebels have made demands of food and fresh water. They will value air if that is also denied them, answered another. The idea has merit, said a third. Silence followed. Elder Kaler, silver-furred descendant of the last offworlder, narrowed his eyes. You would starve them of air rather than strike them down? Yes, Vernest replied. Victory without slaughter is still victory. The elders murmured, astonished. Even Sieglord Branth, scarred commander of the siege wolves, tilted his head in grudging respect. Soraya, his mate and captain, whispered to Tala, he thinks differently. He is not like us. The plan was enacted. The vents were sealed, the rebels collapsed in surrender, and the colony was saved without a single blade drawn. The elders looked upon Vernest with new eyes. Later, Tala found him alone, seated by a warm palace fire once more. She lowered her glaive, her purple dark fur shimmering in the glow. Her full lips parted as she spoke softly. My people are dying, she confessed. Our children are weak, our women infertile, our elders fading too soon. We are strong in battle, but our bloodline wanes. Children are growing weak or born weak? Both. Vernest's yellow eyes lifted to hers. Show me your food stores. She led him to the food stores. Grains discolored, fruits shriveled, vegetables stunted. He shook his head as he stared into faded sands of grain, decayed slightly as it slid through his fingers. Then to the rivers, where fresh water flowed abundantly, but at the bottom of the streams lay rusty dust. Vernest knelt, his massive hands scooping the sediment. His nostrils flared. "Copper," he said. Tala's voice trembled. "Can you fix it?" "Yes." At dawn, Vernest climbed to the snow drifts near the valley's inner mountains. The waterfalls cascaded from the ice caps, shimmering silver. He followed the river to its source, where a vein of copper bled into the water. Closing his eyes, he summoned his lunar power. His body glowed with moonlight, his hands trembling with telekinetic force. The copper tore free from the earth, 15 tons of gleaming metal rising into the air. He sealed the vein, peeled the poison from the river, and the water ran clear once more. Reaching deep into the soil with his talons extended as far as they could go, he pulled the metal fragments before them, soil, the rust, the bits of hazardous shards, and peeled them out of the earth in a stream of stark power that laid roads along the sides of the farmland, and created a safe path along the far side of the untamed woods beyond. With moonlight and the copper itself, he shaped a wagon, massive and radiant. Tala rode atop it, her tail flicking in proud satisfaction, as Vernest hauled the copper back to the village. Young children and villagers stared as they made their way through the main clearing and up to the denser part of the Vaewulf clan's home. The people gasped, astonished at the sight. From his mountain pavilion, Elder Kaler stared on, with a proud smile, his amber eye streaming with a single tear. With the blacksmiths, during the following weeks, Vernest forged multifunctional hearths. Oven, grill, radiator, devices that transformed daily life. No longer would families huddle around dangerous fires, burning themselves on sparks, lighting their homes ablaze by accident. The villages rejoiced, their homes warmed, their food cooked safely. Tala watched him with awe. "You have given us more than victory. You have given us life." But not all eyes were filled with reverence. Captain Anara's thoughts always lingered near Vernest. She took her chance when the Queen was busy negotiating with the expansion of the hearth concept into further lands and in homes currently being built. It was important work that, despite her obsessive fascination with Vernest, had to be done. Captain Anara approached Vernest near the palace lounge fire with subtle words, hesitant gestures, her tail flicking with interest. "You are different," she said softly, her voice low. "Not just strong. Clever. I like that." Vernest's yellow eyes met hers, unreadable. He said nothing, but her meaning was clear. She leaned closer, her presence heavy, her interest undeniable. He could see she was not wearing her armor but an ample robe, which clung to her body and accented her curves. "May I sit with you, Vernest?" she asked cautiously. "Sure, but I should let you know, I can tell your interest is a little more than friendly," answered Vernest. She took that for what it was and joined him, laying on her belly with a wide soft pillow below her, squashed at her size but holding. Her ample hips and wide backside draped over behind her with the hope he would notice. "What was your world like? Was it warm there?" she asked. "We had an eternal night. Many night creatures lived in our lands and the places beyond. We have summer nights, winter storms, autumn gales, and spring rains. It wasn't paradise, but it was home," he answered nostalgic. She hung on his every word. "Did you worship Lobos there?" she asked, and her ears flicked with affection and interest as his scent peeled over to sadness and reservation at the question. Her bosom hollowed out when she noticed she just made him feel something. "To be honest, I was never a devout. Lobos, when I was a lad, took my father. He was a sacrifice for him. I resented Lobos for that. And now?" Anara asked softly, staring into the fire with him. "Now I realize what my father did. That Lobos has influence that extends beyond worlds. A purpose for us all. I was too blinded by losing my father to see it. I wasted my time, by not having an heir, brooding, farming. Now I know, my father was not a sacrifice. He was a relic, meant to transcend his own time to seal harmony along all time. And so am I. But it doesn't stop me from missing home." Captain Anara's eyes nearly teared up at the admission. She watched him now as he stared in the fire and now understood what he was staring after. Before she could press further, Tala arrived, her eyes narrowed see the two of them talking so, and the way that her captain was laying on the cushion beside him. Her own lustful feelings were pushed down as a cold wave of intuitive dread flushed the queen. Anara stepped back, her tail flicking once in retreat. For now. That night, Tala found Vernest in the siege beast's den. The massive creature lay beside him, its 6 legs folded, its head resting near his chest. Vernest's hand stroked its fur, his eyes distant. Tala's voice was hushed. No one has ever rested with it. Not even me. Vernest's gaze did not leave the beast. It knows I am broken. Beasts fall in love with the broken parts of us. Her heart ached. She sat beside him, her tail brushing the stone. There is something I must tell you. Vernest made no reply. There is a reason I have never taken a mate. No wolf asks, and no wolf is my size. I spent my entire life unbonded until I created one that cannot exist in our world, and cannot be mentioned to our people, the palace, or anyone else, she whispered. Vernest remained silent, but his mind was curious, having no clue what she was trying to say. It was on a cold campaign against the vampire clan. Our numbers would have been lost had it not been so close to daybreak. But when the vampires made a final push, the southern mountains gave way to a magical disturbance that caused the entire landscape to collapse, trapping me and Captain Anara for 8 days before we could fully dig our way out. In that time, Anara and I bonded. Forbidden but true, and we explored out bodies, and our sorrow at not being able to find a mate, for she is nearly as large as I. Now I have seen that Anara has found interest in you, and it worries me this will expose our forbidden bond, and that I will lose my chance to claim you, she finished after a long-winded, nervous monologue. I don't think you're meant to lose me. Just trust in my presence here. Trust in me. I think we're going to be fine. Something else is coming. I don't know what. Once that is resolved, let's talk about bonds and whatever then, he answered, still smiling over at her calmly. Tala thought he would reject her, that he would never speak to her again. Instead, he assured her that everything would be fine, and she believed him, she could not say why. Their bond deepened. Her loneliness mirrored his grief but was warmed by his quiet strength and calm. She felt the pull of him, stronger than any she had known. Chapter 3, The Zekt War. The moons of Lobos hung heavy in the sky, casting silver light across the valley. Vernest Dent stood in the training grounds, his massive frame gleaming with sweat, his yellow eyes curious again. Queen Tala Vaewulf approached, her glaive in hand, her purple dark fur shimmering. You are strong, she said, her voice low. But strength must be tested. Spar with me. Vernest's lips curled faintly. You would challenge me? I am queen, Tala replied. And I must know if you are worthy. Faster than the eye could see she was striking. A claw, a kick, and a blade met air as she rolled and spun, trying to catch the larger opponent off guard. Outmatched in speed, she took to reach, flicking out her glaive to try and close the gap, but Vernest only wove and dipped aside, avoiding her altogether. Your moves are like archaic battle tomes. You mirror the old manuscripts exactly, he said calmly. Frustrated, Tala transformed, her body shifting into her wolf form, towering, powerful, her fur bristling, her eyes glowing. She lunged, her glaive flashing. Vernest met her strike with his bare hands, his muscles rippling. He moved with terrifying grace, parrying her blows, forcing her back. The clash was brutal, sparks flying as glaive met lunar energy. Tala snarled, her tail whipping, but Vernest was relentless. He pinned her at last, his weight pressing her down, his eyes burning into hers. She yielded with a lick, her tongue brushing his cheek. Let me heal your pain, she whispered. Her voice warped but still incredible soft and pleading in that advanced, hulking wolf form that was actually as large as Vernest himself. Vernest's voice was heavy. Pain is all I have left. Their breaths mingled, intimacy blooming, but before it could ignite, the ground trembled. A shrill cry pierced the night. The Zekt Clan had come. They swarmed from the shadows. Radical insectoids, their bodies armored in chitin, their eyes glowing with alien light. Their movements were jerky, unnatural, controlled by psychic waves that pulsed from the east. Mandibles clicked, wings buzzed, claws tore at the earth. Vernest rose, his fury unleashed. He tore through the vanguard, his lunar power burning silver arcs across the battlefield. A near-endless volley of energy spears and arrows ripped along the sky, sending the Zekt numbers into disarray. Insectoid bodies split, ichor spraying, their shrieks echoing. Tala fought beside him, her glaive cleaving through carapace, her tail whipping in defiance. In the distance, Anara and her units were ripping through the Zekt, crawling down near the lower villages as young men and a few militia warriors held back the slackening wave of deranged insectoids. The elders watched from the walls, their eyes wide. Elder Kaler raised his staff. War. That night, Vernest returned to his quarters, his body not tired, but his mind exhausted by battle preparations and maps. He sat in silence, his yellow eyes reflecting the fire. The door knocked. Captain Anara entered, her thick frame filling the room, her fur gleaming. She was nearly as large as Tala, her body powerful, her presence heavy. She leaned against the wall, her eyes smoldering. You fight like no other. You think like no other. You are, unlike any I have ever known. Vernest's gaze met hers, steady. I could say the same thing to you. Anara stepped closer, her tail flicking. One day, duty as the chosen will make you choose between me and Tala. I would die with regret if I was to never tell you how I feel about you before you make such a choice. Her hand brushed his arm, lingering. Her lips parted, her breath warm. The air thickened, charged. For a moment, Vernest did not move. Then Tala appeared at the doorway. Her eyes flashed, her tail stiff. Anara. Anara turned, her lips curling. He bears no marks. He is not claimed. I have already claimed him. Anara's eyes narrowed. Then mark him. There is no claim without marks. Or he is mine to pursue. The air crackled with fury. Their tails flared, their eyes burned. For a heartbeat, it seemed they would clash. But they stepped back, separating, realizing the storm was not yet ready to break. Anara's voice was low as she left. I wanted him to know that there are options at both ends of the spectrum. I mean no disrespect, Your Highness, but I would be a fool not to know a good thing when I see it. Tala's heart raced. She looked at Vernest, her lips trembling. She realized she must fully claim him soon, or risk losing him to another. The War Council gathered. Scouts reported the Zekt's corruption traced to the far east, to the crater of Vaethos, where a meteorite had landed. But it was no stone. It was an egg, exuding psychic waves that enslaved the insect folk. They marched. Tala led her warriors, Vernest towering beside her, Anara close behind. The journey was long, the land scarred by Zekt raids. Villages lay in ruin, their walls clawed, their fields stripped. What are the women like on your world? Asked Anara as they walked through another ruined field. Not unlike yourselves, though no one's fur is purple, grinned Vernest honestly. On your world, would women like ourselves have been accepted? Would there have been one to find us beautiful? Asked Anara, gesturing to Tala and herself. Despite herself, Tala's ears twitched at the question. There would be quite a few dating options for both you ladies in my world. Tala tried to sound casual, but she could feel Anara's eyes on her as she asked. And do you find women like us beautiful? I do, he answered quickly, leaving them both a bruised darker purple at their faces and glancing at each other between several, layered, unspoken feelings. At the edge of Zekt territory, they found an insect family, an elder, his mate, and 2 hatchlings. Their carapaces were dull, their eyes clear. They spoke in broken words, trembling. The egg enslaves, the elder rasped. It kills our kin. We fled. We hide. Please, end it. Tala's hatred softened. She saw them not as monsters, but victims. Her tail lowered. We will end it. For all of us. The crater loomed, jagged and vast, its walls glowing faintly with psychic energy. The egg pulsed at its center, massive, alien, its surface slick with ichor. Waves of corruption radiated outward, twisting the Zekt into frenzied beasts. Battle erupted. The Zekt swarmed, their claws tearing, their wings buzzing. Tala and her warriors fought valiantly, their glaives flashing, their fur bristling. Vernest unleashed his lunar power, silver arcs burning through the hordes. They ripped through them like paper, the mindless Zekt hardly a match for trained militant might backed by wolf muscle and coordination. Finding a cave that led to a chamber that could only be the path to the center of the crater underground, they sprinted in, deflecting insectoid creatures coming from the walls and the sky before they made it into a cave and forced them into a bottleneck to which Vernest burned through them in the tunnel with a raging howl. But the cave collapsed. The warriors were pinned, trapped. Vernest roared, his voice shaking the stone. He struck the walls, collapsing the tunnel, sealing the path. He fought alone, his body a storm of fury, his claws tearing, his energy blazing with a wild, feral beast's vitality. Tala screamed. No. Anara's eyes burned with tears. He saves us. He saves you. Silence fell between them, as they spoke not a word, and the sounds of Vernest fighting went low and disappeared after the crumbling rock on the other side of the cave stopped falling. Anara and Tala hugged, desperately, and quickly kissed, and they sighed and sobbed together for Vernest. They pressed on, their hearts breaking. At last, they reached the egg. It pulsed, glowing, its surface splitting. From within emerged an armored alien insect warrior, towering, monstrous, its body gleaming with psychic fire. Its mandibles clicked, its claws dripped ichor, its wings spread wide. Tala and Anara fought, their glaives flashing, their tails whipping. But the creature was too strong. It struck them down, its claws tearing, its psychic waves crushing their minds. Anara's voice broke. I loved him too. I love both of you. Tala's eyes filled with tears. Our bond is real. Yours and mine. His and mine. All of it. They fought through pain, their bodies trembling, their hearts united. But the creature loomed, unstoppable. The ground shook. The earth split. From below, Vernest burst forth, fully transformed. His body was lupin, feral, his fur bristling, his eyes burning yellow. Rage consumed him, lunar power blazing. He tore into the alien insect warrior, his claws ripping, his teeth sinking. The creature shrieked, ichor spraying, psychic waves collapsing. Vernest hurled its remains into the ceremonial fire pit below, the flames consuming it, ending its corruption. The Zekt shrieked, their minds freed. The waves ceased. Silence fell. Tala knelt beside Vernest, her hands trembling. You saved us. Anara's eyes glistened. I love both of you. Tala's lips trembled. Our bond is real. The moons of Lobos shone above, silver and eternal. Their fears dissolved, their hearts united. Epilogue, under the new moons of Lobos. The war had ended. The Zekt were broken, their corruption burned away in the ceremonial fire, and the valley breathed again beneath the twin moons of Lobos. The Vaewulf clan gathered in the great hall, torches blazing, banners unfurled, their voices hushed with anticipation. Tonight, the bonding ritual would be performed. Tonight, the chosen of Lobos would be bound to their queen. Vernest Dent stood at the altar, his towering frame casting long shadows across the stone. His black fur gleamed, his yellow eyes steady, though sorrow lingered in their depths. Tala approached, her glaive set aside, her purple dark fur shimmering, her full lips parted in solemn grace. She was radiant, regal, yet her tail flicked with quiet anticipation. The elders raised their voices, chanting the words of the ritual. Elder Kalar, silver-furred descendant of the last offworlder, stepped forward. The bonding ritual is sacred. It binds lineage, it binds love, it binds destiny. Tonight, Vernest Dent, chosen of Lobos, shall be joined to Queen Tala Vaewulf. But then Anara stepped forward. Her eyes burned with quiet strength, her tail flicking with restrained desire. If Vernest is to be bound, she said, her voice low but firm, then let him be bound to me as well. His bloodline must not be wasted. His strength must flow through every vein of our people. The hall erupted in murmurs. The council shifted uneasily. Elder Kalar's eyes narrowed. Unprecedented. The ritual has never bound more than two. To add another is to defy tradition. Sieglord Brandt growled. It is dangerous. But Soraya, his mate, spoke softly. And yet, it may be wise. Vernest's blood is rare. His size, his strength, his lunar power, these must be preserved. To bind him to both would maximize his lineage. It would strengthen the royal line. Arguments flared. Some elders cried blasphemy, others whispered of opportunity. The hall shook with debate. At last, Elder Kalar raised his staff. It is unprecedented. But so is he. He is the chosen of Lobos, torn from another world, greater than any who came before. If Lobos willed him here, then perhaps Lobos wills this union. The council fell silent. The decision was made. Tala stepped forward, her eyes burning with certainty. I have already claimed him. But I will not fear sharing him. Anara is my captain, my rival, my bond. She has fought beside me, bled beside me. Her love is real. Our bond is real. Tonight, we will bind together. All three. The ritual began. The moons rose higher, silver and eternal, their light bathing the hall. Vernest knelt, his massive frame bowed. Tala placed her hand upon his chest. So long as I have you, my people will endure. Vernest's voice trembled, his yellow eyes glowing. So long as I have you, my father's death was not in vain. Anara stepped beside them, her thick frame pressing close, her hand joining theirs. Her voice was low, fierce. So long as I have you both, I will never be alone. The moons flared, their light enveloping them. The ritual was complete. The Vaewulf clan bowed, elders lowering their heads to the chosen of Lobos and his bonded queens. Tala turned, her lips trembling with no fear. She kissed Vernest, her tail flicking in triumph. Then she kissed Anara, her rival, her bond, her partner. The hall gasped, but none dared speak. The queen had chosen, and her choice was absolute. The moons shone silver and eternal upon their union. Love and lineage intertwined, unprecedented yet undeniable. The Vaewulf clan celebrated, their howls rising into the night, echoing across the valley. Under the new moons of Lobos, they were bound, queen, captain, and outworlder. And destiny itself bowed before them.